Welcome to Game Pass News, recorded Tuesday, February 8th. The world is buzzing with a whole bunch of Olympic stuff, but we're here talking about Xbox. I got my main man, Sean Abbott, with me, and I'm Nick Metzger. Thanks for joining us. How you doing today, man?
Uh, yeah, day started out well. Got everybody off to school, work, etc., etc., and then about 11:30, I got a picture message off Lindsay. She's now tested positive for the coronavirus, so she's currently held up in the bedroom, kind of just feeling very sorry for herself.
Oh man, that is this the first time? Is this the first time you guys have
This,
had it?
yeah, this
Anybody in the
this is
household?
the first instance for us. Yeah,
Gotcha. Oh man, that is yeah, we really got to figure that out. I don't know what that text is about. Yeah, that stinks, man. That is a real bummer. So now you're on, it's a bummer for your spouse because now they're going through all the junk, but it's also a bummer for you because now you are like main man parenting duty for a week or so. So, oh
yep,
man, no good. Now, are you guys on the 5 day thing? Because it's a big thing over here with our government. Is like, we moved to
yeah, we are
five days.
because we're double jabbed. Um, so she's got to do a test on after the fifth day. If it's negative, and she can produce two negative tests after the 5 days, and she can go about business as normal.
Okay. All
So,
right. Nice. Oh,
hey, FIFA 21,
yeah. Thanks
welcome
for
to the
joining
chat.
us, man.
First time
First
chatter.
time. Yeah. First time chatter. Thanks for jumping in. We appreciate it. Yeah. That stinks, man. Really no good. Are you guys? To move on to brighter news. Are you guys Olympics fans? Do you watch the Olympics?
I watched last year's just because they had like freestyle BMX and freestyle
Uh huh.
skateboarding,
Uh huh.
stuff like that in. So yes, for that. Other than that, no. I like to keep my ear to the ground, but we kind of like always seem to be battling against you guys in the US for
That's
like a decent enough place.
That yeah, that's fair. I don't know though. I mean, it seems like we're struggling this year. I've watched us get 3 silvers, and I don't know if we've got anything more, and I just haven't. I just missed it. But I love the Olympics, no matter who's like up or doing anything. I don't know. I always love the stories and what comes out and all the all that stuff. I just think it's super fun. Um, so I got super into curling last night. Canada and Italy went into overtime. Didn't even know curling had overtime. I also didn't know like throwing stones on a sheet of ice could be so much fun to watch. But my goodness, I was like totally in. The kids were like, my wife was like, "Are you gonna put the kids down? Because it's your turn." And I'm like, "Wait, it's almost over." Then it went into overtime, and I was like, man. Got out this little measuring device just to see which stone was closest to the button. Oh man, I tell you. I don't know. I'm getting old, or maybe curling's either really awesome, or I'm just getting old, and those kind of things super interest me now. Anyways, I was talking like I actually knew what I was talking about doing. It was amazing, and it is true. As FIFA 21 brings up, we got Shredders coming out. Not this month, but March 17th. So, looks like a real good. You were interested in it, right, Sean?
Yeah, because I like Steep, and then obviously I
Mm,
got Riders Republic. So I'm looking forward to give this go. This looks more rather than for the freestyle rider, as in like just slope style stuff.
mm-hmm.
Looks more for the tricks and bits and
Yeah.
pieces. So yeah,
I believe its tagline, if I'm correct, is a snowboarding game made by snowboarders or something. Is that this one? As I recall.
yeah. I mean, the last company that did a game that was made by a group of people for that group of people was like the Sessions Skate
Yeah.
game, which is very good, but also very difficult. So I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what they've done with this.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, let's jump in. Let's jump into our top stories. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's not a lot of news right now. No, not a lot of. Nothing came out new on Game Pass this, so I'm not gonna. Nothing to bury the lead there. But we do got some interesting things to chat about. Halo Infinite. I've read this report now in two or three spaces. Halo Infinite numbers are falling. This article said fast. I don't know if it's falling fast, but they're no longer on Xbox's top five. they've fallen off of Steam. It just seems like the Halo Infinite has been plagued with some stuff. I don't know. What do you think, Sean?
I'm not surprised. Let's be honest. They released it, making it very difficult for matchmaking in the
Mm-hmm.
large scale matches. They haven't dropped any news about any new maps, any new like styles of games, like different games you can play. They've only just like this month fixed the matchmaking in the big map kind of battles and stuff. So I can kind of see why people fell off this. You got to think at the same time as this coming out, you had things like Warzone making big changes to the maps because Vanguard came out. Fortnite was doing a load of cool stuff. You can unlock the Rock as a skin, the whole Marvel stuff. So the other PvP, large scale PvPs that were out there were doing a lot more than Halo was doing with Infinite at the time. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I can kind of see why it's fallen off. And to be honest, I don't blame people. I fell off. I enjoyed it for a hot second. I not finished the campaign because I kind of got a little bit bored. I got like I do with Far Cry. I kind of get to a point and I'm like, I really can't be bothered to carry on because I'm just doing the same old, same old. I'm going to a base and um, kind of doing my thing. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I just think that they did this the wrong way, to be honest. Like I just feel like they thought it would be a good idea to get this out as quick as possible. And in these type of games, it seems to me it's best. It's best if you have some content in the pocket ready to go. So you release the game and then boom, you come out and you're ready in like a month to come out with new content and to just keep it rolling. And I think to release early and to not have content in the pocket, which I really don't think they did, that was a real problem. And it released with bugs. And there's just so many other free to play options. I just don't think you have to have a stellar game, and I don't know that Halo launched stellar enough as a multiplayer option. Plus, this is their first foray into trying to make this a free to play battle royale, not battle royale, but free to play type of game, like they're doing right now. And I just think they have some bugs. I think if Forge comes out, it could change things around, but we haven't got a solid date for even when Forge is gonna finally land. So they need to make some changes and do them quickly, but also do them with quality. And those two things are hard to put together sometimes to get. So that is, those are kind of my thoughts on that. Um, well, this is interesting. Our next top story. Let's just lump it all in. Lump it in with what you've been playing and the whole deal. I'll let you take it off because I didn't realize it was gonna marry so well with what you've been doing. So you
Yeah.
you lead.
So I have the only thing I have been playing is I worked loads last week. So the only thing I've managed to pick up is I got a copy of Dying Light 2 at the weekend. Lindsay was really kind enough to go and pick that up for me from the store. I've been playing it and I have issues with it. And I think these issues are what other people are seeing. So the dev says that the story that you're relating to is that the devs have kind of thrown the GPU, I think it's the graphic processing unit for the Series S under the bus, saying that it's not got the balls to run this game. And I can kind of see that this game is huge. I mean, the map is huge. The you know every direction you look, there isn't like a grey out area. It's just everything you can see for ages in every direction. There's so many different things that you can interact with. So all the different platforms for the free running side of things and climbing and like all the different enemies that you come across, all those kind of bits and pieces, it really does. It really doesn't hold up.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, not that it doesn't really hold up. It takes up a lot of power basically,
Right.
and yeah, I think that's where it's definitely struggling. I mean, I'm playing it on the Series X, and I've had to restart the game twice because of sound issues where like it'll
Oh
just
wow.
glitch out, and I'm just sat there listening to what sounds like a lawnmower going off in my ears through the headset. And at first I thought because the digital outputs coming from the TV. I thought, oh, I must have an issue with the TV. So I kind of played around with that first, and it carried on. Then pushed the sound to come out for the TV speakers, and it carried on. I was like, oh, okay. So I went to the home, didn't quit the game, but just dashboarded to the home. And all the sound on there was absolutely fine. Went back into the game, and the game was still making this horrific buzzing noise. So I kind of lost a little bit of progress in that because I was halfway through a mission, so I had to restart that.
The
And
worst,
then
man. That's the worst.
yeah, and then when I first started playing the game, I had some graphical issues. So at one point, I was climbing up the side of this cliff because you kind of just I don't want to break the story too much, but you play a guy called Aiden, and this guy is a pilgrim. The story's set like years and years after the original. So the GRE, who were the guys that were doing all the experiments and testing that created the outbreak in Haran in the first one, kind of went underground and carried on doing all their bits and pieces as they were. And another case of this disease has got out and leaked out, creating, but it went worldwide kind of thing and created something that they call the Fall. Now, the Fall, it was like the doom of mankind due to this virus, and there's very little population-wise left, but all in very small settlements spread out all over the place. And pilgrims are kind of people that take items from one place to another and like kind of deliver really glorified postmen that risk their lives to go from settlement to settlement, trying to help people out deliver stuff. So you play a guy called Aiden, and you're meeting up with another pilgrim in the beginning because you're looking for somebody. I won't go into too much detail because I don't want to break the story, because this is one thing that the only positive I have from this is that it's got a very good storyline at the moment. And so I was climbing up the side of the mountain, which is like the first like real bit of free running climbing that you get to do in the game. And the whole screen kind of like went black and white, as if like it was dark and the only light I could get was from the moon. Everything was kind of like silver edged and stuff like that. And so I went into the settings, and I went from like playing it on quality to I had to flick through all the different settings. So you've got quality, performance, normal, and I flicked through those a couple of times and it reset everything. And I was like, oh, great, cool. I'll stick it back on quality because I really want to play the game with full quality graphics. Right. And carried on for a little bit. And then as I got into the main area, like the big open world main area for the first time, the game crashed and kicked me straight out. And then I had to load it in. So I reloaded the game, and it luckily carried on exactly from where it crapped out on me. The issue I've got graphically now is as I'm running around this open world, there's just a great big gray spike straight through, like it goes from the far horizon into the sky. I'm coming across enemies that have got polygons sticking out from them all over the place, and are constantly just like look like they're constantly mutating, which I'm assuming isn't part of the game because it doesn't look great at all. I'll be running around like the rooftops, and all of a sudden there'll just be like what looks like a giant spike coming from the ground to the sky vertically. Like could just going straight through the middle of a car and things like that. And I'm like, no, that's not right. And then the other one was I was doing a bit that was finding quite difficult with the free running. They're having to use ropes to swing from one place to another. And it looked like there was a beam that you could balance across on this big like beam that you could walk across from one bridge to another. And I thought, oh, cool, I'll just walk across that. So I tried walking on it, and he just fell straight to the ground and died. I was like, oh, so that wasn't a beam. Went back up and like finally got back up there, and the beam wasn't there. I was like, okay,
oh my gosh, are you serious? Oh man,
yeah,
that's horrible. Like that's really rough.
Yeah, so I have a feeling that they have released, because watching people play this on PC, it's flawless and it runs so nice and looks really good on the PC. On the Xbox Series X, it looks a little bit rough around the edges and isn't running very well. So I have a feeling that, and I mean, we talked about this before the post, like in the post before we started recording, they have released one version. They have released a PC version. They stuck a PC version on a disc with potentially a patch that you have to download alongside the game coming out to kind of help it run on the console. But yeah, I have a feeling they've rushed this out, and it's getting some negative press from me. It's getting some negative review from me because I've just sat here for the last 15, like last 10 minutes nearly saying
Yeah,
the
man,
issues that I'm dealing with. So,
that's that that's interesting. So yeah, so the devs say that it's the Series S that's holding him back. So there's two options, and one actually is, in my opinion, a little more dire than the other. If they've released a PC version and the Xbox Series X can't keep up, that's a real problem. Like there's not a real good fix for that. That means PC games are going to struggle on the X until developers are willing to either put some time in there, put some time into it, or can figure out how to best bring their game down. And that's not something you want to have if you're Microsoft and you're trying to push this high-powered console. Now, I'm wondering if it's actually the opposite, or not the opposite, but I'm wondering if it's really just that they released one version for Xbox that can run on both S and X. And so they've dumbed the version down to fit on the S's GPU. And so in
yeah,
doing that, but that doesn't entirely make sense because that should mean that the X runs it flawlessly. It would mean that the
should
S
do.
should
But I am,
struggle,
like I
and
say,
the yeah, because I have an S, you have an X. So that should mean that the S struggles, but the X should run it without any issues. So I don't know. That's very interesting to me, man.
yeah. I mean, what they're saying in this report is it's things like head bobbing, field of view. You don't have all you don't have all the abilities to change the field of view, which kind of what people do with a first person game is. I do it with Call of Duty. I did it with uh, what's the other game I played recently that had first person? Halo. I did it in Halo. I automatically adjusted the field of view so it was wider. So
Gotcha.
because it gives you such a scope for like avoiding enemies and seeing
Mm-hmm.
stuff as you're moving around. So I did exactly. I went looking for that in this game and it's not there in the X at all. Which in that report the developer says we're going to patch it in a bit, but the first thing we need to get figured out is the online because the online killed all the servers, and then the like motion sickness stuff will come with like being able to adjust the head bobbing and field of view and things like that. But
Yeah.
if I go from quality to performance, it automatically takes out the head bobbing. But then the game feels very robotic. You kind of fix your head's not moving around, so you don't get the feel for the game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That makes sense. Oh man, that's insane. And you're right. You had said this. I don't know if, but it is a lot like the cyberpunk issue that you had said, and I think you said that
yeah.
when we were talking pre-recording. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does feel like
Now,
that.
for the positives I have with this, and some very strong ones. If you loved the first game, you were going to like this one. The game, the story, the crafting element of everything, the collecting of items, everything is still there. There's tons of side quests, which I absolutely loved about Dying Light because I have in this game, I've spent the first chunk of playing the game doing as many side quests as I can, just because, you know, all the you earn double the XP when roaming around on a night. So that's when I can do most of my roaming around is when on a night where you get chased more. But um, the bit that I'm really liking is you have to manage your rate of infection.
Hmm. So
So
how much you're infected basically? Is that like your health
so no,
basically?
you are infected, but
Oh, okay.
how immune you can keep yourself from becoming the
Gotcha.
Walking Dead.
Gotcha.
Um, so as long as you're running around in the daylight, that's absolutely fine because UV keeps the immunity at full all the time, constantly. But as
Gotcha.
soon as you go inside a building where UV light or where there's no UV light or any sunlight, you get like a timer starts. You've got 5 minutes.
Oh
It's
wow.
like if you cannot get done what you need to be done in that 5 minutes, and you haven't got any enhancers and stuff that you can pick up and craft and things like that. If you haven't got any of those, that's it. Game over. You died.
Hmm.
So
That's interesting.
and also it kind of limits the amount of stamina and health that you've got. So you can kind of like picking my battles. I'll be running around and I'm like, oh, that's really, I want to go in that area. And then like I'll see that there's a load of bandits and I'm like, I can take 4 on okay, but 6 becomes a bit of a struggle because they do want to try and circle you, and it's kind of like you end up getting pummeled, and it's like I don't have the stamina or the health or the medikits or any boosters to help me right now do that. So I will make a note of it and come back later.
Sure.
Climbing, get into certain areas you can't do because of the stamina. So like they kind of put issues in place in the game that you've got to kind of think yourself around,
Gotcha.
which I enjoy because it makes the game difficult. It makes the game purposely play for a long period of time.
Nice. Yeah, well, I hope they said they have at least 2 patches coming out in the near horizon. So hopefully that gets some of this stuff taken care of, and they can play the game without having polygons sticking out of people's heads. That would be nice.
Okay.
News bulletin. I thought this was interesting. I have said for a long time that Game Pass is Phil Spencer's baby. This is the first time that I have seen actual proof of it. Wall Street Journal did an article, did an interview with Phil Spencer where he basically said that he would not take no for an answer when it came to starting Game Pass. So this really is his baby. Anybody who thinks otherwise, Microsoft had issues thinking that publishers wouldn't jump on board and that it would never be able to make money. That second one, we're still waiting to see who was right on that one, I think. But Phil really thought that this was the way to go. And I can't wait for the next, in like 10, 20 years, the next Xbox documentary to come out on YouTube where they talk about Phil Spencer basically just breaking into meetings and wanting to talk about Game Pass. Because I feel like that was totally how this happened. He was like, listen, this is the thing. We got to do it this way. Let's do this. So yeah, Phil really pushed for Game Pass to be what Xbox is, or to be, what Xbox champions, what Microsoft gaming champions. I wonder, it'll only tell in time if it becomes. It'll definitely be what he's known for. Will it become his greatest achievement or not? Like that I'm very interested to see how that plays out.
It has to be because he's changing the face of gaming. And that's the thing, is he's absolutely changing the way that this works, because people have gone from buying just the game that they would like to play to playing a wide variety of games and having them on a subscription service. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of he's changed the face of digital gaming anyway.
He has for now, but it's got to work. It's got to be like it's got to make money at some point. Like if it doesn't make money,
25 million subscribers at like an average of $11 a month, $11 a month. Must be making enough money for them to go, let's spend 70 billion. So
I think they're hoping 70 billion gets them to a profit. Okay, let me change that. I'm sorry. It needs to make a profit, not just money. Because I don't think it's making a profit yet.
If this acquisition goes through that we talk about every week so far, and we will continue to talk about until it's gone through, and then probably blow ourselves out the water with the amount of information that comes back from that.
Yeah, probably.
They will have 25 different developers under the belt.
Yeah.
25 different developers, and 10 of those are going to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
10 of those make huge. Bethesda, Activision, they're going to have fucking Blizzard,
I don't know what that. Yeah.
big ones. Infinity Ward, Treyarch, stuff like that. They're going to have really big developers under the belt. So,
how do they not make it work? I'm totally with you. I think that Activision, they knew that this baby was the baby that could get them to profitability with Game Pass. And the moment they do, baby, let me tell you, Phil Spencer's legacy is forever sealed, and he's got it. But if they don't, then it'll always be the thing of like, yeah, remember when Phil made us spend $1 bazillion and we never made a single dime from it? Like, he's got to know, man. He's got to know that this is the baby. This is the one that matters.
Just for the record now, I am very much Team Phil.
Oh, I am too. I don't want to see it fail. I mean,
no.
I mean, if it fails, we gotta be like, well, What do we call ourselves now? Microsoft. But to be honest, if Microsoft didn't have Xbox, if Microsoft didn't have Game Pass, I don't know that Xbox is still around. To be honest, like I just don't
Yeah.
know. There's not. They don't. They have nothing to hang their hat on. Absolutely nothing to hang their hat on without Game Pass. So
Yeah.
yeah, it is very very interesting. And
So
I
then,
look forward to seeing what's about.
do you want to take us into what you've been playing then? Seeing as I beat Dying Light to death, bludgeoned it to death as you do in the game, do you want to go and tell us what you've been
Sure.
playing?
Yeah, you killed the dying light. Um, so I've been playing three things. I would like to point out I beat another game this week. I beat another
Jeez, man.
game. I keep it going. This was a short one. I can't lie. It's short. It's only like 3.5 hours. But because you have far changing tides, I believe it is coming to Game Pass. In just a little. In I think it's March 1st. It's coming to Game Pass.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to play the first one, Far Lone Sales, which so I downloaded it on the Switch for like $13, and took it for a ride. I listen. There was some chat in our channel between me and Tim. I didn't realize Tim loved this game. It was funny because I was kind of poking fun at it. I think the game mechanics, you start off in this desolate world. You hop in this machine after you walk a good ways, by the way. You find this machine, you hop in it, and it's all about managing keeping your machine alive, and then every once in a while it stops and you have to like solve a puzzle so that you can open a door so that this machine can keep going. By the way, it's a 2D side scroller, okay? So you're only and you're really only going one direction in this machine. You're only going to the right. It's like old school Mario. You only go to the right. And so your guy can walk left and right, but the machine only goes to the right. And so the mechanics of working this machine, the puzzles were good. They weren't super hard, but they were good. I loved all of it. I thought that was all really good and really great. But man, Sean, these games where you do not get any info about a story. Like, okay, I get that the background's desolate. It looks like it's, apocalyptic type stuff. You got this machine, and I don't know. And then the game ends. There's no dialogue, either written or voiced. And there's some
Wow.
pictures that you're supposed to, like, figure out a story. Hey, the game was fun. But if you can tell me why I did this, if you can punch home a story, all the better. I don't know what I was supposed to like pick from the sky to pick from a story here. I just really, really don't understand these games that are like, they'll get it from the picture. Don't worry. I don't need to tell them anything. It's fine. And it doesn't work that way. I have no idea what you're trying to tell me. Or if there was a story. Or were you just too lazy to make a story? I don't know. You tell me. Because I'm kind of
Maybe
going with
in
the
the sequel.
latter, to be honest.
Maybe in the sequel they'll go back and answer all those questions for you.
Maybe. Listen, I will play the sequel. I played the first one so that I could play the sequel. The sequel looked really good. I think actually I saw it on a Nintendo Indie Direct, I believe, is where we saw Changing Tides, and it looked really fun. It's a 2-player game, and then I heard it was coming to Game Pass. Fantastic. But yeah, I don't know. That's my take on this game. Great mechanics, no story. It's just a real miss, in my personal opinion. I started Spiritfarer. I won't lie, I'm playing it on the Switch because I downloaded it on the Switch a year ago because I was like, oh, this game looks so good. It's right up my alley, which it really is. And then something happened. I don't remember. Something came out and there was a shiny thing. And I just want to clean up this game because I missed it. And I moved on to whatever the shiny thing was, and I didn't play Spiritfarer at all, really. So I picked it up, and I'm on the trek to finish it while I watch the Winter Olympics. Quite frankly, that's my plan. So yeah, I've been playing that. Game's really fun. I mean, I think everybody, and it's a great story. You ferry people to the afterlife, basically, while you create this boat. It's an older game, so it's been out for a while, so I'm sure most people know what it is. But it's a boat management afterlife ferrying game. It's
Oh, management of the life fairy game.
yeah. There you go. What more do you want? That's what it is. Um, So, and then me and my kids have been playing Banjo Kazooie. They absolutely love that game. I've been stomaching the 64 camera, although everybody tells me I should be playing it on the Xbox because there are a ton of life improvements, quality of life improvements, and that I don't have to play it on a box screen, which would be nice actually. The black bars always drive me insane. Um, so, uh, so maybe I won't. Once I beat this game with my kids, I won't go back. Just drives me insane. But the game is fun. I will say that it really feels like it's got that Mario-esque type thing where it's like, find the different puzzles, and there's like so many different puzzles and the things. You do little bitty like challenges, and you get a puzzle piece. It has that Mario Odyssey, Mario 64 feel. It actually has a lot of. It actually feels more like an Odyssey type feel because if I recall right, in Super Mario 64, you would get a star and it would pull you all the way back out of the world.
Yeah, and I used
Yeah,
to I used to absolutely hate that about
yeah,
Mario.
yeah. This,
So when I played Banjo, and I played a lot of Banjo, that's the bit that I enjoyed the most about it is that you weren't pulled backwards and forwards all the time.
yeah, yeah, and I do appreciate that, and that does give it more the feel of like Odyssey than Mario 64. It was ahead of its time in that game mechanic. Also, my kids love to read what the witch continually says. My son now just continually laughs at this one. They're all rhymes, so I don't remember the rhyme part of this, but something like the only contest the whichever won was a big butt contest. My kid just continually just blows up. It's so funny. He thinks it's the most hilarious
Hambo
thing.
and Johnny's in the chat, and he's asked, "What do you think about the Jinjos?"
Are those the five guys you got to find in each world? Is that
Yeah, yeah, they are.
yeah?
And there's
Um,
like an orange, a yellow, green,
yeah,
blue, and
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
purple. Something like that.
I think it's a fun challenge. It is annoying. It was like in the first world we were four in, and then all of a sudden, um, no, I have not turned anything into a washing machine. Um, and we were four in, and then we died, and we went back into the world, and I was like, oh crap! Like you have to get them all in one like fell swoop. You can't like get four, and then it saves that progress. So that was real kick in the nuts. But no, I like trying to find them. And so I'm really enjoying playing it with the kiddos. Also, really really happy. It was not even my idea. My son was like, "Hey, let's play this game." And I don't even remember where he saw it at. I think he saw it on like an ad or something. And he was like, "Can we play that?" And I was like, "Sure." So yeah, so it's fun to go back and play those games with the kids. Um, they seem to be enjoying this one much more than they enjoyed Mario 64. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I pretty much finished Mario 64 because they were like, we're done, Dad." So yeah, so that's what I've
So
been playing.
yep. So very quick then into the breaking news for things that have been released by Xbox Game Pass this week.
Crickets. We got nothing.
Pausing for no dramatic effect other than they haven't dropped anything yet.
Yeah, that's true.
So we haven't summoned them on Twitter to say, come on, give us that graphic that you normally give us. So, that might be our fault, but I don't think it is. I just think that there's nothing really. There's stuff coming out in the next few days, like towards February 15th. February 10th. There's a couple of things coming out that we mentioned last week. So you've got Besiege, Crossfire X, Edge of Eternity, Skull the Hero Slayer, The Last Kids of Earth, and the Staff of Doom. They're all coming out on the 10th. So that's like what? Today's Tuesday, Thursday. So they're coming out Thursday. So we might get a bit more news towards the back end of the week of what's happening for the week after. But so far, we have nothing new to tell you.
So let's see. The last game coming out is Infernax on February 14th. Yeah, I bet we don't see anything till next week. They'll let all those games play out, and then maybe we'll see something around Wednesday or Thursday, another graphic. But we might. I don't know. I wouldn't bet on that one. I pretty much felt like there should be something coming out next week or last week when we did it, but they might wait a full week, and I would need to see what. I don't think there's anything coming up. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's either going to be late next week or the week after, or early week after that they'll drop a graphic for sure.
So, yeah. So I'll move very quickly into the party chat section then, where we'll answer questions from viewers and people from the Discord and Twitter. The first question that we want to do, and it's because Simple Monks asked it in the chat, is does Xbox ever show their numbers?
Well,
I pressed the wrong thing.
they've been showing more. And I mean that's because they're better, right? So they're not going to show anything that's not great, and not publicly at least. And so their numbers have been getting better, so they've been showing more numbers. Like I said,
Yeah, they don't. They tend not to talk
yeah.
about hardware sales
Oh yeah,
or
no, they don't care about
game
hardware
sales.
shares.
They just seem to be boasting out the subscriber numbers, and that's the one that they keep going for.
Yeah, they don't care about They don't care about hardware shares. They don't care about software sales. They care about number of players in a game, number of subscribers. Those are the only things
Yeah,
they care about. Phil is gonna live or die on Game Pass, and so Xbox has given him the rope to do what he needs to do, and so Microsoft Gaming is gonna live and die on Game Pass too, right now. So not that if Game Pass goes away, Microsoft Gaming still won't be around, but this particular era of Microsoft Gaming will live or die on Game Pass, and so they only care about subscribers. They only care about people playing games, and
yeah.
that's it. They don't care about anything else.
No, I mean that's like if they could find a way of monetizing stuff like Dying Light just for Xbox players, then that's the only stuff we'd hear about. They're not bothered about how we sold X millions of copies of Dying Light on our console on day one because they're not bothered. They didn't make the game. They're not bothered about that, and it doesn't affect them in any way, shape, or form, other than developers throwing the GPUs for the machines under the bus. But
Yeah, yeah.
they'll probably respond to that, or they probably won't respond to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as a I don't know. Would I want to respond to that if I was Xbox and somebody was saying, "Well, the GPU of the console won't do it"? I don't
Yeah.
know. I'd probably
I
turn
don't
around
think
and say, "Well, then you should have done something about making sure it did work." But
yeah, but they don't want to. They don't. No, I think they're they're gonna be pretty diplomatic about this one. They won't say anything about that. They'll just let it go, unless they start getting real cranky, and then you might hear something on Xbox if they really start to the developer starts to get real cranky about the whole thing. But if anything, I think Phil might reach out to them and say, "Hey, you're getting money from us. Let's not forget that."
yeah,
So, if you got an issue with what's going on, maybe we can help you figure it out. But no, I think Phil's more diplomatic than that than to play a game of play a war of words on a social media. So.
the other question we have is from Bruce from the Discord, and as always, Bruce's questions kind of come with an edge of mystery because we don't always know what he's asking. It kind of dropped in the question time section of our Game Pass news section inside the Nintendo Dad's Discord. Wow, that is a thread and a half. He just put, "I want to play Rogue Squadron," which then Nick kind of said, "I ran into a glitch on this," which we talked about in the episode where Nick had played Star Wars Squadron. But he's asked if they fixed this bug, and the answer to that question right now is we're not sure. I haven't seen going through because sometimes you can look at the software, you can look at the versions that are on Game Pass, so you kind of know if there's been a patch or an update release for that game. I've not seen anything of that, so I have downloaded the game.
Hamburg says
Yeah,
that's a
Bruceism.
Bruceism.
Yeah, so I've downloaded the game to try it, but prior to us recording, it hadn't finished downloading. So
Yeah, and the other question is, I know Bruce likes retro games. And I wasn't up to date on my Star Wars retro games. So when I searched it before our podcast, I came across Star Wars Rogue Squadron, which, to be fair, I didn't know was a game in '98 on the N64. So if he's talking about legit Star Wars Rogue Squadron, you can't play that on Xbox right now. I don't know if I've ever played it. I may have and forgot about it. I may have rented it for a weekend and forgot what it was like. So I have not played Star Wars Rogue Squadrons, but I have played Star Wars Squadrons, which you can play on Game Pass right now. Not sure if you can play it on XCloud or not, but it is playable on at least a machine. Probably not. Most of those EA Play things are not also XCloud versions. So yeah, so I could have been mistaking his want to play a 98 game for Squadrons that came out a couple of years ago. So I don't know, but there
We
you
shall
go.
see. Get back to us, Bruce, on that one if you're listening. Yeah, that's it. Questions wise, we've got no weird food related requests.
Oh, we should
Which
have
we
done the
usually get.
tea thing today. Darn, I didn't even think about that. Really dropped the ball on that one. Oh, maybe next week if we don't have much, we'll do the tea thing. You can teach me how to make English breakfast tea. Darn.
Yeah.
How did I not think of that?
The golden ticket this week. Looking very quickly for it. There's no change. So Broken Sword 5, Serpent's Curse is still there. That's until the 28th. Hydrophobia you can get until the 15th. And the changes that will be made. Sorry. I'll have to look. I'm gonna have to Google what
I'm doing it right now. I have no idea what my take on.
Yeah.
You better not be sending me down a road I don't want to search online. Oh, okay, no, okay. They're actual things.
Yeah, he's not put blue waffles, so don't worry about that. Band of Bugs comes to the games we've called February 16th, as does Aerial Knights Never Yield. So, yeah, I'm going to very quickly.
For those who are listening, listening to the podcast, Hambone Johnny just asked, "What's our take on Stroop waffles?" Of which, gosh darn, I gotta really cancel that. I have a work phone now in my area with like a legit phone. So excuse me, I gotta remember to silence that. So what's our take on Stroop waffles? Of which I immediately Googled, and then as I was Googling it, thought, what road is Hambone Johnny sending me down? But they are a Stroop waffle is a waffle cookie made from 2 thin layers of baked dough, joined by a caramel filling. Holy crap, I'm in. First made.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm looking at these resting
Gouda.
on top of like cups of coffee, and I'm thinking I am very hungry now, and I'm also very aware that I missed dinner. So.
Also, my next question is: the Dutch city of Gouda the city that made Gouda cheese? That's my
that. Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Oh no, I thought Gouda was French. Oh no, is it? Copy.
Welcome. What have you done to us, Hambone Johnny?
Every week.
Where was Gouda made? Oh, geez, this makes for great audio.
There you go.
Sure.
So Gouda is a Dutch city south of Amsterdam in the province of South Holland. It is known for its namesake cheese and seasonal cheese market.
There you go, people.
There you go.
You learn about Stroop waffles, you learn about Gouda cheese.
Not only do they make awesome looking waffles, but they make really nice cheese.
Yeah. There you have it. I mean, that's pretty amazing that this place has these two like really, really well-known foods named after them.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. There's still with Hambone Johnny in the chat. There's always going to be a food segment. I love it. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So very quickly, I know we touched on what's on the horizon. So these are all we talked about last week. So Besiege, Crossfire X, Edge of Eternity, Skull, Hero Slayer, and the one that we're both looking forward to is The Last Kids on Earth and the Staff of Doom. They all drop February 10th. And then you've got Ark, Ultimate Survivor Edition, Infernax coming out February 14th on Valentine's Day. So if you've got nothing to do on Valentine's Day, you can go and try and build yourself a settlement and get eaten by dinosaurs.
I love it.
That's one way to spend Valentine's Day.
Love it. Yeah. Eat snacks and play Infernax. That needs to be their tagline. Yeah, I think we're done, man. I think that's a quicker show today. Blame it on Xbox. But yeah.
Yeah. And trying to think if there's anything else that we need to.
I
No,
don't think so.
I've had it through the Xbox Wire, which is the website I usually go to is Xbox Wire for any news, and not really much has changed there at all. There's some bits and pieces about actual games that are coming out for the Xbox,
Actual games come out
but
for the Xbox? Huh.
yeah,
Interesting.
DLC coming out for Space Engineers Warfare 2. The achievement lists have been revealed for Total War Warhammer 3, which I believe is that coming to Game Pass? It
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Total Warhammer's coming to Game Pass sometime. How do you like that for an
Um,
answer?
February
But
17th.
I
Total
did
War.
say, is it okay? I was gonna say Total Warhammer. No, maybe I do this all the damn time. I think it's coming, and I'm like, oh, I guess it didn't come. That's what I had to do with what's the Ollie Ollie World. So
Ollie Ollie World,
Total
yeah.
Warhammer 3
Which I
launches
watched, by the way, I
on Game
watched Tim
Pass.
play Ollie
Yes,
Ollie.
for PC on. Oh, is it only for PC?
Yeah.
Game Pass launches with Game Pass February 17th, 2022. So yes, there is Total Warhammer. Maybe it's only for PC. I That's what this thing says.
Yeah, it just says PC Game Pass, which is quite sad because I'd have liked to have played that. I like a
Yeah.
little bit of Warhammer.
Okay, so I wasn't
But
completely
yeah,
wrong. I'd like to point that out.
no. You can unlock up to 1,000 gamer score on there, which is quite nice. But talking of Ollie Ollie World, I watched Tim play it live on YouTube on Saturday night, maybe. I really want to play that game. It looks so good and so much fun. So if that does come out, if that does eventually work its way to Game Pass, or we do land the code that we requested, I'd like to stream a bit of that because it looked like fun.
Yeah, I think it will. If I were to take a bet, a stab, whatever, I'd say it will come to Game Pass. I think it'll have. As I put on Discord, it'll have death's door timing, so it probably won't be for a couple weeks. They want to get their actual sales in on Switch and all that jazz, and then yeah, I think we'll see it on Game Pass when the when everything dies down. So when their sales die down,
Yeah.
want to squeeze a little extra couple bucks out of it.
Yeah. So I will roll us out if you're happy to do so, sir.
Do it.
Cool. So as always, the socials for us are at Game Pass News. That's over at Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. If you're listening to this via your podcasting application, iTunes, Apple, Google, Spotify, and you have the ability to give us some kind of feedback or likes, please do so because we'd like to kind of get up there when people are searching. Want to chat with us in the Discord, where we take our questions from most times? Head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. $1 a month gets you into our subsection, or subscribe to our Twitch channel, and we can talk to Tim and get you into the Discord as well. Thanks to Hambo and Johnny, Simple Monk, and very quickly I have to go get your name. FIFA 21 must be for joining us in the live chat. And until next time, we'll see you later.
See you later, guys.